SpongeBob is obviously a great show. It has provided countless great memories, laughs, and episodes in general. However, there are a few things in the SpongeBob universe that don't really seem to make sense, and today I thought we could dive into that. Hey guys, it's JaxTown here, and here are 5 big mysteries in SpongeBob. Before we get started, if you like sports, movies, TV shows, and video games, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on. I would love and appreciate all of your support. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1, how does this all happen underwater? As you all know, SpongeBob takes place in the ocean, but many of the things that happen in SpongeBob aren't really possible underwater, such as how can there be a fire underwater as we see this in many episodes, or how can there be a burger restaurant like the Krusty Krab, since all the burgers will get soggy and inedible, or even how can there be any technology such as TVs underwater since they'd all get fried? I know it's just a cartoon, but there will never be any logic behind this. Number 2, where did Sandy's home come from? Not really considered a huge mystery to most people, but something I always wondered was how did Sandy's home come to be? Was there another land creature who owned the home and then Sandy later purchased it from them? Or did Sandy build it herself, or did she hire people to build it for her? And if she did, how on earth did she plant a tree and grass there? Although her house is a genius idea for an underwater home for an air breather, there still is some big gray areas as to how it's totally possible that it was made. Number 3, why does Plankton want the Krabby Patty formula? Yes, one of the biggest consistencies in SpongeBob is the fact that Plankton wants to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula from Mr. Krabs so he can know exactly how to make a Krabby Patty himself. But to me, something never really made sense about this. What would Plankton accomplish by doing this? Would he make Krabby Patties himself? And that is a resounding yes by at least what we've seen in the first SpongeBob movie. But the question is why? Does he think that now that he is selling the exact same thing as the Krusty Krab, that people will no longer go there and go to the disgusting chum bucket instead? Also, he would probably get sued for stealing a licensed product from the Krusty Krab and selling it himself. It's kind of like saying that I could steal the recipe for a Big Mac and then sell it from my house and somehow manage to run McDonald's out of business and not get in trouble while doing it. There's just no sense behind it. And even though it makes no sense to steal it, why does Plankton want to steal the actual paper in the bottle formula? And why does he feel the need to do it himself? Just hire someone to order a Krabby Patty and bring it back to the chum bucket so you can put it in that machine that tells you the ingredients to everything like we saw in the episodes Walking Smaller Best Frenemies. Come on, Plankton, you're smarter than that. Number 4, who is Pearl's mom? One of the longest running mysteries in SpongeBob is who did Mr. Krabs mate with to give birth to his daughter Pearl? Who is the mom? Now, in case you don't know this, Pearl is a whale, and Mr. Krabs is, well, a crab. And in case you skipped all of your biology classes in school, a crab cannot give birth to a whale. So what does this mean? Either one of two things. The mom is a whale and was probably very large and combined with Mr. Krabs produced a much smaller whale, or in the more likely scenario that Pearl is adopted and Mr. Krabs probably didn't sleep with anyone, which makes sense since Eugene ain't so great with the ladies as he could barely talk to Mrs. Puff in that one episode. However, they never even address this mystery at any point in any SpongeBob episode, and Pearl does seem to comfortably call Mr. Krabs Daddy, but then again, she was probably a baby when she was adopted and only grew up knowing Mr. Krabs as her father, so it could still make sense. I guess at this point, it's all just speculation, but it is fun to wonder who is the mother. And number 5, how old is SpongeBob? Yes, last but definitely not least, maybe the biggest mystery in SpongeBob is how old SpongeBob actually is. Now, many times, such as in the first SpongeBob movie, it is mentioned that SpongeBob is just a kid, and throughout the series we see SpongeBob do many childish things such as cry and play games such as hide and seek with Patrick. However, we also see the mature side of him in that he does live in his own house, he does own a pet snail, and he is employed. In fact, according to the first movie again, SpongeBob mentions that he has won Employee of the Month over 400 times in a row. If you just do the math, 400 months is over 33 years. So he's been employed for a hella long time, over 3 decades apparently. So we should speculate that by that, SpongeBob should be at least in his middle ages. But then, why is he called a kid so many times, and why does he eat at Goofy Goober's ice cream party boat and cry like a little boy? I guess the fact that the show contradicts itself so many times just makes it impossible to know how old SpongeBob actually is, and it will seemingly always be a big mystery. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more great videos in the future, and let me know what mysteries baffle you about SpongeBob, and maybe I'll make a part 2 in the future. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you all later.